Hey guys, it's your pal Victor here, and we're doing some movie reviews. And today we're doing a review of the latest Shudder original, and it is called Scare Package. Now, I'm going to lay some ground rules just for you. This is a horror comedy anthology, and I'm going to lay it down straight for you guys. I usually am not a fan of meta horror comedy anthologies because what meta horror writer nerds think is funny is usually not funny at all. It's usually painful to sit through. And I'll be the first one. I watched Joe Bob's The Last Drive-In, and I think he's painfully unfunny. I kind of think, he hit his stride a long time ago when I was in high school and Monster Vision was on. That's kind of how dry I think Joe Bob Briggs is. That being said, this anthology, which is kind of like VHS based, if this had the name Scare Package really doesn't even make sense. I'll say this: if this was called VHS or Video Store or something like that, it'd be a perfect name for it because it's great. It's actually really funny. The whole thing is set up against like the framing device of a video store clerk called Rad Chad in his video store, and his hiring an employee named Han, and him having a nerdy customer who wants to be a video clerk who keeps showing Han like little videos that he feels are essential to his education as a video store clerk. And this movie runs almost a full 2 hours long, which seems super long for a horror movie, but it's actually really good. It has, I'll tell you this, Scare Package has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shorts in it, which is really good, and they all play very well. The main two shorts are called Rad Chad's Horror Emporium and Horror Hypotheses, which are both directed by Aaron B. Kuntz, who is hilarious in this. And basically, it's this Rad Chad character who owns a video store. The logo for the video store looks just like the Last Drive-In logo, and he like dresses and acts just like Joe Bob Briggs. And it's cute, and the jokes there were funny. But one of the best things that gets you right in is there's a cold open. And that short is actually called Cold Open. It's about a guy named Mike Myers, who is a fourth wall character, and he's mad that like he never has a prominent role in the movie. He's just the guy who helps set everything up, and he wants to have a backstory, and he kind of gets his wish, and it's kind of set around the trope of a very popular horror movie from 1978. That's all I'm going to tell you. If you know about horror movies, you already know what movie I'm talking about. I think one of the things that really works in this anthology is that all the little shorts in the anthology are basically based around throwing off horror tropes, dissecting them, but in an intelligent and a funny way. And the one that really gets me is one that it segues from the Rad Chad's Horror Emporium. It's called One Time in the Woods. And it's this guy, he shows up at the campsite, and there's all these people who are going camping. And he's like, I need silver, I'm turning into a monster. And then he's turning into a goo monster, and you kind of think, well, what? And he needs silver. Oh, he's turning from goo into a werewolf. But then some guy has silver, and it turns out they're handcuffs. And he has handcuffs because he's also a serial killer. And I'm not spoiling it from there, but it just keeps escalating and escalating, and it's actually funny, not stupid. And Noah Segan has one in there that's also kind of a trip on werewolves and toxic masculinity. It's called Mister. It's really funny. And there's one called Girls Night Out of Body, which is the only one I think doesn't really hit. It kind of feels like one of the shorts in XX at Jovanka of Yukovic, not her episode, the one that St. Vincent did with the dead father in the panda suit. Like, that's the one short in that anthology that doesn't flow to me. That's kind of what Girls Night Out of Body feels like. It's like it kind of doesn't go with anything else. It sort of feels like that Twilight Zone episode Masks, where they all have to wear this stupid group of family has to wear masks for a specific thing, and then their faces turn into that. It's not like that, but it feels like that, if you know what I'm saying. One of the funniest ones is called The Night He Came Back Again, Part 4, The Final Kill. That one's like dissecting what it would be like to if all the people in like a Friday the 13th movie really got together and tried to kill Jason, and it's super funny. There's one called So Much to Do that's also funny, but it doesn't really feel like it flows with the rest of them. But my favorite one is called Horror Hypotheses, and that one has a lot of cameos from some indie horror people you might know. It has Chase Williamson, who's in John Dies at the End. He's the one who's talking to Paul Giamatti through the whole thing. And he's really funny. He's also in Siren, which was a spin-off from the VHS Anthology. And he's kind of the stoner, and the whole thing is kind of like Cabin in the Woods, where scientists are kind of like doing experiments on a Jason-esque serial killer and trying to figure out, oh, how do we stop them? We'll just get all the archetypes and kind of try to figure things out. And the serial killer is played by the natural Dustin Rhodes from WWE and AEW wrestling. He's actually really good in it. And it like riffs on so many horror movies. It riffs on Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, super hard, and it's really funny. And it has some cameos, and I'm not gonna spoil, but I'm sure some people will be like, oh wow, he's in this, you know, and I'm not gonna set it up, but if you're into a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of horror history, you'll know who it is, and it's fun. But yeah, it's way better than I thought it would be, and like I actually enjoyed it a lot. I do think it's a little long. They could have trimmed like a couple of those skits, and I think it would have flowed just that much harder. But what you get is really funny, especially like just the genre and trope deconstruction, because it's usually not done in an intelligent way, and I feel like it really is done in an intelligent way in this movie, and that's really refreshing. So I enjoyed that. So I'm just gonna say, Scare Package is available now, February 18th on Shudder. You should check it out. It's really funny. And it's super gory, like whoa. And the practical effects are all over the place, like super gory practical effects. You can't go wrong with that combo, and you don't see that all the time. It's like, we have all this like, you know, cannabis syrup or whatever the fuck stage plays out. Let's just hose it down everywhere, explode things. It's really refreshing. It feels like a throwback, and I like it. I think it could have a better title than Scare Package. That being said, I like the writing. It's low budget, and they make it work. So props on them. I enjoyed it. Shudder needs to get in the mode of producing more stuff like this, and I dig it. So you should check it out. And again, thanks for checking out this review. In fact, we'll have more reviews coming up in the future, but in the meantime, just if you like what you're seeing here on Cult Following, just hit subscribe, and we will talk to you soon. And find us on all our social channels. Tell your friends about the reviews. Hit subscribe, hit follow, turn on your notifications, and we will see you soon. Thanks again.